This is that one song that you heard so many times, and every time you hear it, you're like, I'm not gonna bump to this song. But then you start catching a vibe. I'm sorry, not sorry.
Yeah.
East Coast with the gang, gang, gang. West Coast with the gang, 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 gang. Lower with the gang, 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 gang. You know we don't play gang, gang, gang. East Coast with the gang, 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 gang. West Coast with the gang, 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 gang. Lower with the gang, 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 gang. You know we don't play gang, gang, gang. East Coast with the gang, 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 gang. West Coast with the gang, 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 gang. Lower with the gang, 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 gang. You know we don't play gang, gang, gang. East Coast with the gang, 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 gang. West Coast with the gang, 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 gang. Lower with the gang, 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 gang. You know we don't play gang, whoa. East Coast with that gang, gang. You know we don't play games, whoa. Hop up on that wagon, oh please just get out the way. You know we stay stuntin', right up in your face. We sorry, not sorry, we just stuck up in our ways. West Coast gon' head stand up, put that glass and hands up. Gang, 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 we fammed up. Got that change, we bagged up. Crew love, we stay manned up. Ahem like I'm wheezy, yeah. Rap game just too easy, drip so sick I'm queasy, whoa. East Coast with the gang, gang, gang. West Coast with the gang, 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 gang. Lower with the gang, 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 gang. You know we don't play gang, gang, gang. East Coast with the gang, 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 gang. West Coast with the gang, 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 gang. Lower with the gang, 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 gang. You know we don't play gang, gang, gang. East Coast with the gang, gang, gang. West Coast with the gang, gang, gang. Lower with the gang, gang, gang. You know we don't play gang, gang. East Coast with the gang, gang, gang. West Coast with the gang, gang, gang. Lower with the gang, gang. Yeah. Watch me finesse, walk to the line. Good versus evil, God in his prime. Always in prime, always on time. Our time to shine, wifey is fine. I'm doing fine, glad that you asked. God fill me up, mud in my glass. God clean me up, all that I ask. Wherever you headed there fast. I am ahead, you are in last. Last time I checked, you were all gas. Gas in the whip it up fast. Fast and all furious, I'm starting to spaz. Getting all curious, you put me on blast. Blasting that Darius, kids in the back. Back to the future is black. Black like T'Challa, Wakanda attack. East Coast with the gang, gang, gang. West Coast with the gang, gang, gang. Lower with the gang, gang, gang. You know we don't play gang, gang. East Coast with the gang, gang, gang. West Coast with the gang, gang, gang. Lower with the gang, gang, gang. You know we don't play gang, gang. East Coast with the gang, gang, gang. West Coast with the gang, gang, gang. Lower with the gang, gang, gang. You know we don't play gang, gang. East Coast with the gang, gang, gang. West Coast with the gang, gang, gang. Lower with the gang, gang, gang. You know we don't play gang, gang.
The following program is rated TV MANOC. It contains a big pair of nuts directly on your chin. It is intended only for mature audiences. Viewer discretion advised.
Here's the thing.
Go to the fucking gym!
Fat phobia.
Obesity is epidemic in the United States and a major cause of death.
What is fat activism?
I, a fat person, am sharing my own lived experience.
Pizza is a vegetable.
Your fat phobia is your problem.
It is not my place as a smaller-bodied white man to comment on it.
Radical body positivity.
What can men do against such reckless hate?
There's only one man who can help me.
This is for you new people. I only have one rule. Everyone fights, no one quits.
This day we fight!
Fucking people.
The sun is shining, the birds are chirping, the bacon is sizzling. Welcome to the Daily Swole.
Testing. Test, testing, testicles, testicles. Welcome everyone to episode 21 Hundo and Ochente of the Daily Mother Swole, the most muscular Swolecast, Beercast, Broadcast, Gamecast, Mancast, Pimpcast, Sleazecast, and Slaycast in the realm. Because when I flex, you flex, we all flex our biceps. What's going on, beaches, booshes, busters, hustlers, and your hoes? It's your boy Papa Swole back with another episode. In today's episode, the Beastcast is brought to you, is powered, is sponsored by Everson K2 Flexin' and all you beasts.
It's the fucking Catalina wine mixer.
Flex on them and pinch those nips. What is going on, fam? Happy Tuesday. It is Tainty Tuesday, and you know the deal. Look at the scroll down below. Don't be a beesh, don't be a boosh, or you'll end up like Tainty Magooch, and you don't want to be a Tainty Magooch. You don't want to be a Tainty Magooch, now do you? Now, of course not. Of course not. Of course not. You don't want to be a Tainty Magooch. Now, if you're brand new, you might not know what a Tainty Magooch is. So, SwoleFam, why don't you drop a comment down below? What is a Tainty Magooch to you? What do you define as a Tainty Magooch? And of course, we are going to get into this mancast. We're going to bust this card wide open. We got to get the nut open. We got to summon the Falcon. And we have a great show today. So I hope you are having a wonderful May the Trois. Happy May, beaches. And let's get into today's episode, shall we? Make sure you hit that like button, subscribe, and all that good shit. We are live on all the channels, thedailyswole.com for all the links. And make sure you leave us a review wherever you are banging your ear holes with the knowledge cock, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, all that good shit. Let us get into it. Are you ready, beaches? Let's fucking go. I think you are. Look. Nice cock. Very nice. Very nice. Get out your bone broth, get out your tea, get out your fucking moonshine. It's time for a Sleazecast. Hashtag Tainty Magooch for a chance to win today's Swole card. We'll give that away at the end of today's episode. Now, fam, are you ready? We have a great show. Let's fucking get it right now. Let's moisturize, spit on it, and get into that tip. Babe, just an inch, just an inch. It's cold outside. All right, so we got a great week. We got a big month. May is going to be huge. Reminder that yesterday's episode, the accountability meeting, is now available inside Swole TV. If you missed yesterday's live call for members only, that is why there was no podcast yesterday, because it was a live call. We had brand new releases and we talked some shop. We had a great conversation. So always a great way to start Monday. Nothing's like Monday with the SwoleFam. So you can catch that replay from yesterday's episode, now available inside Swole TV. All right, let's get into that first SwoleFam post.
What's in the box?
Let's do it. First one's from Ash from our SwoleFam Discord. Ash writes, I have an update on my elimination diet, which is I'm done. Let's get a little gorillas for Ash. Very nice. Done with your elimination diet. How many of you have done a full-blown elimination diet? I know most of you watching live have, but drop in the comments if you've done a complete elimination diet. I'm fine with dairy, red dyes, and several other things. Well, that doesn't mean you should be eating them. However, we discovered I have GERD, gastroesophageal reflux disease, from a hiatal hernia. Spices, caffeine, beer, aspirin, and large meals are out of the picture for me. I'm likely going to have laparoscopic surgery in a year or two to fix it, as it's causing some horrendous acid, but it's just another chance to tighten up my diet more and remind me to keep out the non-processed foods. Thawing a steak for lunch now, going to have an apple with it and have a giant water break, then go to the gym. Remember, your food is your fuel. Don't put junk in your tank. Very nice. Let's get a little American. Damn right. And you're kind of always on your elimination. Once you do an elimination diet, you're always refining. You never really leave that elimination. Remember, elimination diet's just your process. You are customizing your nutrition. So stay on it. Thank you for sharing, Ash, and proud of you. It's amazing information. Amazing information. Priceless. Priceless information that you will refine over time and it'll change your life. All right, post here from Christine. This morning, I was catching up on previous mancasts, and I loved that Papa was talking about the importance of feeding our pets real food. I've been feeding my boy Rufio. Does anybody remember the movie Hook? Yes, indeed. I call Rufus Rufio sometimes. Raw for almost 10 years, and I'll never go back to kibble. Working in the pet food industry was eye-opening, and I truly believe feeding a dog and cats a biologically appropriate raw diet is the definition of healthcare. And we have a couple pictures of the food meals. We got what? Beef pancreas, liver, turkey gizzards, salmon chunks, thread herring, rabbit kidneys, pork ribs, pork chop. All right, we got a lot of different organ meats there. Very nice, man. Your dog's eating like all sorts of fucking shit. Your dog's eating all sorts of things. Very nice. Excellent. Rufus's food is pretty much consistent. It's grass-fed beef, heart, liver, the standard organs. And of course, once he gets a little bit older, he's a puppy. So once he gets a little bit older, he's going to have like all different sorts of bones and shit like that. So we put different supplements in bone marrow. He gets bone marrow too. So absolutely, dogs and cats should be eating real food. Shocker that animals should be eating healthy too. Joanne, bit of a different question. Indulgences. What do you consider to be indulging? Do you indulge? If so, how do you indulge? Just interested in the psychology of this topic coming from a health and fitness minded people. I'll pose that to all of you, fam. Indulging or just eating, getting your nutrition in. I mean, I find my meals are indulging. I mean, I indulge in the food that makes me feel optimal. I indulge in steak. I indulge in fruit. I mean, that's delectable. That's seems like I'm in the case of what most people consider cheating is like, oh, food they enjoy. I enjoy what I eat every day. So indulging is kind of irrelevant in my opinion. Indulging is kind of like the same thing as cheating. So scratch that. Nicholas, hashtag SwoleFam. Good morning, my beautiful swole sluts. Today I felt like being a total fat-phobic swole slut on this dreary Monday morning. Throughout these months, I have received a lot of backhanded positivity from family. Examples being, quote, aren't you becoming too muscular? Let's get a round of applause for that one. Fuck yeah, you are. Fuck yeah, you are. That's the best compliment. Aren't you getting too muscular? Fuck yeah, I am. All right. Did you know that you look like you're on steroids? Well, I'm not on steroids, but thanks for asking. That should be a response. Then there is flat out insults like, quote, we're worried you're becoming orthorexic and obsessed, etc. I feff these comments, but it gets agitating to hear them over and over. Yeah, they sure do. What burns them up the most is I'm more confident and happier than I ever have been. You bet I flaunt it. Fam, this has been a journey and a half, a journey which will never end. And until I'm burned and earned, hashtag this is when people quit, hashtag feff, hashtag GTTFG. Good for you, man. Good for you. Good for you. Get used to that shit. Get used to that shit. Get used to the bullshit. I hate those comments. You know, aren't you becoming obsessed? Good. You should be obsessed. I don't know why obsession gets a bad reputation, because if you're not obsessed, you're not going to succeed. I mean, no one's ever successful in what they're doing unless they're obsessed with it. Oh, I kind of dabble in weight training. I kind of dabble in health. Well, then you're not healthy. I kind of eat healthy. I eat healthy sometimes. Well, then you're not eating healthy, are you? It's not eating healthy one day. That's your lifestyle. That's who you are. That's what you do. The 7 pillars, pillar number 7 is consistency. So if you're not consistent, then you're not really doing it, are you? So good for you, Nicholas. Fuck those beaches. They're just jealous that they don't have the discipline you do. So lead by example and drag them along with you. If not, leave them in the dust. Family or not. Doesn't matter if you have similar DNA, they can still suck. All right, Hey everyone, I'm Rihanna, 40 years old, and as of this morning, 263 pounds at 5 foot 8 inches. I bought a gym membership back in February and have not been once. My trepidation is that I have chronic back pain from an injury when I was 12, where doing anything could set off a spasm to where I can't move for several days. However, that doesn't prevent me from eating like shit. This is the heaviest I've been, and I'm just over it. So I found Swolenormous last night via a 2-year-old YouTube video. Why, thank you, YouTube, for showing people super old content. I'm glad that you're still showing it to some people. Did some research and took the plunge. I really like the fact that it's nutrition and fitness because I need help with both. Well, it's all 7 pillars. So it's not even just nutrition and fitness. It's much more than that. So you got your work cut out for you. Good luck to everyone else as well. Welcome to the fam. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Welcome, welcome. You know, people are going to give you shit, right? People are going to give you shit when you take care of your health. People are going to give you shit when you don't want to indulge, let's say, in alcohol. When people are going to give you shit when you do anything that's good for you. But guess who has to live with those decisions? You. So if you're living for someone else, then you're going to be full of regret. You're going to suffer the consequences. So if someone wants to go out binge drinking and you don't want to, that's your decision. You know, if you do it because someone else says so and you do it to make someone else happy, you're the one that has to deal with the consequences. No one's going to have to deal with your hangover and the incredible bloating and the disgusting feeling afterwards. You know, you're the one that's going to have to deal with those side effects. So fuck all those beaches. Do what's right for you. All right, fam, let's get into some knowledge cock. We got some questions from Instagram. You can start dropping your questions live. Hashtag Ask Papa Swolio so they can stand out, and we will answer them as often and as much as possible, especially the live stream. If you have your questions, you can drop it down below. And let's do this. Let's share some other stories from Nick, Rihanna. Let's share some stories in the live chat, things that you've done and experiences that you've had with coworkers or family. Everyone deals with that shit. People are always going to be chipping away at things that make you happy. There's a sick thing that happens when someone or when people in your circle that you care about or that claim to love you and care about you give you shit for you taking care of your health. They don't look highly upon your success. And that's frustrating because you might want them to succeed. But when you are successful, they get resentful that you are crushing it. And it makes you feel fucking dirty. It makes you feel violated because you let these fucking shitholes into your circle and you thought they were better people. So there's a lot of disappointment, not just based on who you thought they were, but also that you let those people in and that they betrayed you essentially, because that's not really what friends and family should do. But that's why you can pick your friends. You can't pick your family, right? So you have to tighten your circle no matter who it is. Reminder that Friday's overtime segment is available inside Swole TV. It was fucking awesome. So make sure you go and check that out. And we will have another overtime segment coming up this Friday. So don't miss out on that. Available inside Swolenormous X for members. We will stream that privately live after Friday's show. So catch last week's overtime segment available now inside Swole TV. And it was fucking great. Let's see here. Let's see, Nick. No one in my family ever gave me shit when I was close to 300 pounds. God forbid if I don't want to die by the time I'm 60. Isn't that crazy? They're supposed to care about you, but then when you are really overweight and unhealthy, and they don't say anything. So it's like, where were you? Where were you with your criticisms when I was trashing my health? It's only when you start taking care of yourself. It's fucking sick, right? People are sick. People are fucked up. Let's see. Tyler, Papa Swolio, how do you utilize your time if you are in a rush to get something done? I don't understand the question, my friend. How do I utilize my time if you're in a rush to get something done? What's the context there? What do you mean? If I'm in a rush to get something done, how do I utilize my time? I don't understand what you're asking. Maybe you can rephrase that. We'll come back to it. Cairo Abaza, Papa Swolio, how can I get rid of belly fat and love handles? Cairo, great question. Common question. Very entry-level question. I recommend downloading the 7 pillars over there at swolenormousx.com. Check out the blog and start learning. Check out our episodes and start plugging into the live streams and learn a little bit more about the elimination diet and the impact that food has on your life. So belly fat, love handles, these are common areas where you will store water and fat when you are stressed out, not getting enough sleep. So sleep's very important. Lowering stress, cortisol, making sure that you're meditating, lowering your psychological stress, getting rid of, endocrine disruptors in your environment. This comes down to, it's a slow process, learning everything, but not using plastic containers, not drinking out of plastic bottles, leaving colognes and sprays and perfumes and all these conditioners and shit like that. There's just tons of phthalates, and these are endocrine disruptors that fuck up your hormones, your endocrine system. Chemical messengers that your body sends from organ to organ and throughout your body. And when you interrupt these signals, your body doesn't know how to react, and it just tries to adapt. Your body's always trying to adapt and survive. So when you have these signals that get essentially emails or phone calls or texts that get interrupted, your body doesn't get the right signals. Same thing with eating garbage food. Your body doesn't feel full when you are full. And we've talked about that recently with Christopher saying, remember that post like a week ago? He was talking about how he ate pizza and he could eat 9 slices of pizza and still feel hungry. But if he eats steak and sweet potatoes, he'll eat a fraction of the caloric volume and he'll be stuffed all day. So your body doesn't get the right signals when you're eating processed foods, and it leads to binge eating. It leads to overconsumption and all sorts of inflammation. So check out that content, and yeah, you're in the right place, bro. You're in the right place. Let's see. Nick Papasolio, do you think a 15 to 30 minute warm up before doing heavy lifts is excessive, especially when you tend to have tight hip flexors, hammies, and calf muscles? 15 to 30 minute warm up before heavy lifts is excessive? No, I don't. I mean, a warm up doesn't have to be you're exhausted. So a warm up doesn't have to be you're running at full speed on a treadmill or something like that. A warm up just means you're preparing to lift. So I think the problem with most people is that they don't warm up enough. They don't activate the right muscles enough, especially people that have poor mobility. So warming up could be just getting your heart rate up. It could be SwoleFam. It could be, anterior tibialis activation, hip flexor activation. It could be a couple exercises, just mobility exercises. Could be a little bit of a yoga flow. Could be a combination of all those things. So I don't think it's too much at all. I do the same thing. I'll do reverse sled. I'll do some anterior tibialis work. I'll do some kettlebell work and some rotations. I'll do a bunch of stuff. My first few exercises are all mobility. So I don't think it's too much at all. And especially if you have the time for it. So the problem is when people don't have that much time, and they sacrifice activation, they sacrifice warming up, they sacrifice proper mobility, and they rush into it, then they tend to get hurt, or they have a lackluster training session, or they compound injuries, they compound lack of mobility, and it builds up over time and leads to a worse injury in the future. So I don't think it's too much at all. Reminder fam, hashtag Tainty Magooch for a chance to win today's Swole card. Thank you so much, Falcon. It's a beautiful card.
He's heating up!
We're just getting started, fam. We're in the knowledge cock, so we're pushing in. Just take a deep breath. It will stretch you out a little bit. It might be a little bit uncomfortable, but don't worry. Don't worry. Papa's here. It's going to be all right. It'll be all right. It'll be all right. We'll make it okay. It'll be okay. It's okay. It's just your first time. It's your first time. You'll get used to it. You'll get used to it. All right, El Chubanibre, 20 years of training, and still, all the time, I learn new stuff and ways to train and take care of my body and mind. It's a way of life with a very rewarding journey to knowledge of yourself worth taking. Yo, I could not say it better myself. It's 100%. And plus, once you have, so El Chubanibre, you have 20 years of training. I have about the same. The way I think about my training now, I'm adjusting because I have 20 years of training under my belt. I have 20 years of experience, 20 years of overload on my body. Also 20 years older, so I have a lot more wear and tear on my joints. Even though I feel stronger and more mobile than ever in my entire life, it's still just a different perspective. So you can't think that you have to change. You have to adapt. If you keep on doing the same old shit your entire life, you're going to eventually have an injury. You have to adapt over time. You have to learn. You have to adjust. All right. A little more context on Nick's warm-up question. My coach and I are having disagreements on how much time I spend on my warm-ups, but as of right now, I've had no serious injuries. Dude, if you don't have injuries, there's a sign right there. I mean, what's the concern? What's the concern? That you are exhausting yourself? It depends. You can exhaust yourself. If you're doing too much of a warm-up, you can overdo it for sure, but then it's not really a warm-up, is it? It's just too much cardio or it's too much intensity. A warm-up doesn't mean that you're exhausted, you're sweating, and you're dripping. A warm-up just means you're activating the right muscles. So my warm-up is just, I use the monkey foot, I activate my hip flexors, my hamstrings, I'll do some reverse sled, I'll do some kettlebell work and rotations and windmills and side bend presses and shit like that. So that's my warm-up. Some mace bell stuff. I don't exhaust me. I'm not exhausting myself unless kettlebells and mace bells, if that's the main aspect of my training, then I'll go hard. But if I'm just warming up, I'll do a few sets and just kind of get the joints and everything. I'll use the Indian club and get my elbow and my shoulder warmed up. All right. Jardel. Papa Swolio, do you currently have any specific training goals like getting better, stronger, faster at a certain exercise which you track and focus on? I'm not hardcore tracking stuff. I mean, I focus a lot. I have certain exercises that I would say, focusing on a little bit more. I always focus on exercises that I need. So it doesn't really matter what I want. It's like, what do I want to accomplish? And I'll do those. And I usually, throughout my entire life of training, I've always biased towards weak points. If I find an exercise or a certain type of training that is really weak for me, where I do an exercise, I'm like, oh my God, that's really weak. Then I just fucking beeline focus. I always try to fix the weak points. When it comes to training, I mean, weak points, not at the expense of doing things that are going to get me, maintain and build strength and mobility. Mobility is very important to me, making sure that I train hard for strength. It's more important for me to have strength than it is for hypertrophy in the same sense that it used to be, because I'm not trying to bulk. I have a lot of muscle mass, and I don't think it's in my best interest psychologically or physically to just, try to keep on getting bigger. I'm not doing the same type of bodybuilding training. I'm training frequently, but I'm not doing as much volume per workout. But certain exercises that I focus on all the time, Nordic curls. I do those regularly. Every time I do legs, I'm doing Nordic curls. Also doing a lot of like groin and adductor work, adductor mobility work. That's a big thing for me. And a lot of thoracic mobility. So really the standard things that I've kind of always done in the past, but I'm really trying to get, really loosen a lot of those things up, like my thoracic spine, so I can have a little bit more mobility in my shoulder girdle for overhead work, like overhead presses, or not overhead presses, but like overhead squats with kettlebells and things like that. I do them with like a plate. It's fantastic. I also focus a lot on, a lot of mobility stuff. But always strength is important. And we talked about this recently. A lot of times when people lift heavy and they try to pack on muscle their whole life, it becomes your identity, right? It becomes something that you can't let go of. So it's very important as you get older. When I say older, it's not so much that I'm old. It's just that I've been training hard. So there's a lot more years. I have a lot more miles on the car. I spend a lot more time in the gym. I have a lot more volume that I've exposed my body and my joints to. And I want to maintain that. So it's important to adjust training over time. Now, you can still build tons of muscle. You can still get yoked and still lift heavy, and I do that. But I've adjusted the volume so I can recover appropriately for my next workout. I don't do the same amount of sets per body part. I like to train them more frequently rather than overload them to the point where I can barely move for a few days. So it's very important to adjust focus and not attach your identity to a style of training, and adjust where you need it. It's very hard sometimes to stop training for strength. Not that you don't want to train for strength, but for me, it's not as important for me to have a super heavy max bench or a max deadlift. I would prefer to increase my strength with a kettlebell swing. So for me, there is the reward with a lower risk for doing, let's say, kettlebell swings than it is to keep on increasing the weight for deadlifts, for example. Or instead of going and doing a standard conventional deadlift, moving to a hex bar deadlift, because it's a much more structurally stable and safe movement. And of course, you have to take some risk. Every time you're lifting weights, there's risk. Anytime you're doing any kind of weight, you're providing risk to your body. But you want to find exercises that will give you the most benefit while minimizing the risk, because the whole point of training is not to get injured. And it doesn't mean there's always a risk to get hurt. And it doesn't mean you don't train hard, doesn't mean you don't push yourself. But if you're doing exercises that have that risk reward ratio isn't proper, you just increase your risk of getting hurt without the benefits. So you can, for example, doing kettlebell swings, you can train the posterior chain fantastically. It's great for cardiovascular capacity. It's great for grip strength. It's great for power. It's great for strength. And the risk when you have good form is very low. Let's see here. Tyler, does the groin machine help with mobility? It's not my favorite. I don't do that. I never did that one. I never did the groin machine. Personally, I like to use cables you can do a body weight. You could do body weight. You can do a straddle from a standing position and, bend all the way forward. We do that a lot in yoga, which is fantastic. But using a cable is a great way to do a straddle and get full range, kind of like a Jefferson curl. And you could do it with a flat back too. Different ways to work the back as well as the hamstrings from that position. So, the groin machine isn't necessarily ideal, but you can definitely get some mobility. You'll definitely train certain muscles there, but I never really used that machine personally. Brian Lee, Papa Swolio. I finally got some grass-fed beef liver. Oh, let's fucking go. Brian, good man. Enjoy that beef liver, bro. I just cut up 2 pounds today. Fuck yeah. Oh, I forgot to mix it again. God damn it. Just reminded me. I forgot to mix it. It's in the deep freezer. I usually mix it a bunch of times. We put it in mason jars and cubes, and I mixed it again. I usually mix it so it doesn't freeze, and I forgot to do that. So I'm going to have to let it thaw and mix it up again. God damn it. Thanks for reminding me. Fuck. I left the tops off too, so it's going to be really dry. Let's see. What's a good starting serving size? Just do an ounce. Just do an ounce. Like if you're going to have it raw, just do an ounce and see what works best for you. But an ounce is more than enough and see how you feel. You never want to overdo it, especially when you're doing something new. It's very nutrient dense. So 1 ounce at least is great. I usually do a couple ounces a day. Good shit. Good shit. Haidao Cosmin 1. Papa Soli, how to get rid of man boobs. You got those man tatters. All right. Well, that's going to go right back with the previous post with Kairos. How can I get rid of belly fat and love handles? We just talked about with inflammatory foods and estrogen, or pro-estrogenic foods like soy, for example. Also, high levels of cortisol, not enough sleep. There's a lot of reasons why you can have man boobs. And sometimes it happens, when you're very young before you hit puberty, if you have higher levels of body fat. But there's all different, it's all 7 pillars. So it comes down to your sleep. It comes down to your recovery. It comes down to the quality of your food, comes down to the amount of your food. Lifting weights is very important, but getting that endocrine balance is very important, getting your health balance back. So don't underestimate the power of sleep and the importance of sleep. And you're going to store body fat in much larger quantities if you're getting insufficient sleep. Let's see. Nick, I love the age range of the SwoleFam. Yeah, drop your age in the comments below. We have everyone. I got a Swole text. When you sign up for Swole text, everyone's like, hey, Papa Swole, sign up for Swole text when you just join the SwoleFam. And I see the age. And I see the age when people join in. I see one that's like 23 and someone else was like 76. It's like we have people from fucking like 5 or 6 different decades in the SwoleFam for all over the world. So let's get a round of applause for fucking SwoleFam.
Dodson, we've got Dodson here.
All over. We got teenagers. We have all sorts of, we come in all shapes and sizes, but we're here to make some sick fucking gains and we're not taking any excuses. So everyone can go feff themselves if they don't like it. We all like it. Let's see, just to read for the podcast listeners. Let's see, we got 39, 23, 48, 33, 40, 51, 20, 48, 21, 27, 32, 58, 36, 51, 40, 30, 27, 61, 43, 48, 34, 47, 38, 25, 47, 35, 66, 45, 31. It's fucking awesome. I love it. I love it. Gorillas Beach. I love it. I love it. I love it. Everyone can make some sick fucking gains. Nutrition Tycoon. Is that a new game? Like the Railroad Tycoon, right? Nutrition Tycoon. How long you been doing yoga? Oof, good question. Let's see. First time I did yoga. God, I forget exact. Probably, I'm ballparking. Probably 2010. Probably 12 years or so. Like the first yoga I ever did, like the first class I ever did. I think it was like 20. I think it was like 12 years. Something like that. Ballpark. I remember like being in the room. It might have been a P90X yoga. It might have been that like way back when. Maybe it was earlier. I don't remember the year, but I remember doing yoga. I remember it was like a triangle pose or something. I remember looking up at my hand, and I remember looking up at my fingertips because the cue was, looking up at your fingertips, reach towards the ceiling. I'm like, cool. And I'm looking at my finger and sweat's like dripping in my eye and I'm like shaking. I'm like, what the fuck is going on? I'm shaking, sweat's dropping on my face. And I was humbled. I was humbled by that. And this is another thing that I was just talking about. When I find a weak point or something, you think you're in shape and then you practice yoga and you're like, what the fuck? I'm not in that good shape. That exposed a huge weak point. So then I got really into yoga and I added that to my repertoire. Let's see. Aero VIP or Aerov VIP. Is there progress at the gym when working extremely physically and psych demanding job? All right, let's try to translate this. Is there progress at the gym when working extremely physically and demanding? I'm assuming you're saying you work a physically, psychologically demanding job. Like, can you progress at the gym? Absolutely. Don't forget, the gym is different. The gym is actually stress relieving. And here's the misconception. People think that they work construction, that they don't have to go to the gym, or I have a physical job, so I don't have to work out. That's like couldn't be farther from the truth. Your body will adapt to that. That's like the standard. That's like your just general activity. But when you go to the gym, that's for you. You're filling your cup. When you're at your job, you're draining yourself in many cases. So you're training for your job. You're training for life. You're doing focused and controlled exercise. You're doing targeted exercise. Not to mention it's a great stress reliever, but your extremely physical and demanding job is going to be much more manageable if you take care of yourself. Jardel, what do you genuinely hate in this current day and age? Hate's a strong word. We throw it around, of course, most people do, but current day and age, just people making excuses, being a victim, pretending like it, I guess the worst thing, maybe not even that. I think it's all right, how about this? I think it's people having knowledge and then not applying it. So it's kind of like that double think. It's kind of like, you know better, but you don't do it you don't do it. So if you have information that eating foods A, B, and C are absolutely garbage and you do it anyway, it's like, that's fucked up. Like, that's bad for you. And then people eat that shit and then complain about not getting results, or they complain about something. It's like having the knowledge and not applying it. That's one thing that grinds my gears. That's one thing. Let's see. Earl of Sandwich. I like that. Fill your cup. That's pillar number 4. That's in the 7 pillars. Fill your cup so you can fill others. You can't pour from an empty cup. Goddamn right. Papa Swolio, what's on the board in the background? All swollen one. The board in the background. What do you mean? With the swole cards? There's many things on the wall. I haven't added more in a couple days, so I'll probably be doing a bunch after the show, getting a few more up there, but there's a lot of swole cards on the wall. Many a thing. All right, let's see. Let's take one or two more questions because then we got some Dookie posts. We got some videos to watch. John Russo, 28. I feel like I've hit a plateau in my training. I've tried increasing the volume and intensity, but is there anything more there? That's it. I got cut off. Boo.
Crucifixion was good. Out of the door, line on the left, 1 cross each.
Damn it. I feel like I've hit a plateau in my training. I've tried increasing the volume and intensity, but, well, John, because your question got cut off from Instagram, I would recommend going back to the basics. That's why the 7 pillars are so important. Go back to making sure you're getting quality sleep. Go back to the foundations with your nutrition, and be fucking honest with yourself, John. A lot of people aren't really honest with themselves. You need humility. You need to look at yourself in the mirror, or like look at what you're doing objectively. Like, am I really doing well? And a lot of people are just full of shit. Like, oh, I eat pretty healthy. What the fuck does that mean? You eat well or you don't. It's not like, well, I kind of eat like shit, then you eat like shit. Well, I kind of eat like shit once in a while, then you kind of eat like shit pretty much all the time. In your concept, in your head, it's once in a while. It's probably every other fucking day or a little bit every day. I eat really well, but I drink Diet Coke. Then you're not eating well. You're consuming poison every fucking day. So go back to the basics. Make sure you're getting quality sleep. Make sure that you are, getting deep quality sleep. Make sure that you're training properly. You're not overdoing it with your workouts. Maybe too much volume without enough recovery time. Make sure you're practicing yoga. Get back to your meditation flow. Go back to the basics. When it comes to increasing volume and intensity, more isn't necessarily better. And that's one thing a lot of you will find as you develop. And you develop your training, you realize, and that's what as per one of the questions earlier, I've learned what exercises give me the most benefit. we're talking about risk and reward. I've figured out which exercises get me the most bang for my buck. So I don't have to do 20 fucking sets. I can do 10 or 12 sets or whatever it is for a workout and do the exercise that give me the most benefit. So you have to go back to the basics. Good question. Master Pablo, what for you is the best way to build tricep mass and strength? That's a good question. Well, the different parts of the triceps, I would not neglect the long head of the triceps. So doing things like straight arm pull downs for the lats and for the long head of the triceps are great. Doing, let's say, overhead triceps extensions, but you can do that. You could do Papa Swolio presses where you're actually doing body weight, but you want to make sure you're hitting the triceps in different areas. So I always like the classic skull crushers, but make sure you just adjust the grip. It depends on your joint health and your structure of your body, if those feel good for you. But there's a bunch of great exercise. You could use bands. That's fantastic for triceps as well. But exercises that really I've always liked were the classic skull crushers, changing the angles to make sure I'm hitting the long head. So if you're on a flat surface or on a flat bench, you're dropping your arms back and pushing kind of backwards, really getting the long head of the triceps under there. But also doing leaning triceps extensions are fantastic. Just hitting them from different angles, making sure you're getting all three heads of the triceps. One of the things I really like to do for, let's say it's straight arm pull downs or triceps, I have those, I don't like the rope. I don't like those different attachments. I like the ones, I have the, what are they called? Loops or something. It's like the straps, I guess straps, right? And you don't use your grip strength. So you can like rest your wrists in there and focus all on your triceps. So that's fantastic. I don't know if you've all tried that, but I have a couple of those different attachments, and the loops are great because a lot of times people get overuse injuries or they get tendonitis because they're always gripping. You can really focus on your grip strength is no longer the weakest link. So it's a great way to isolate certain exercises. Just a couple ideas there. Heather, Papa, I tried to do a Jefferson curl today. I'm afraid I did it wrong. I was watching the video as I did it, but I felt it in my back more than I did my glutes. What do I need to watch out for? I mean, you're going to feel it in your back. Just remember, you don't have to you don't have to go all the way to your toes. Just go very, very light and, put a pillow there or a block there and limit your range of motion. Make sure you keep your knees behind your ankles, like drive your knees back, pull your knees like up into, squeeze your quads, squeeze your glutes, exhale, keep your stomach sucked in, chin tucked in, round your back, protract your shoulders and reach down, squeeze your butt and then roll all the way up. So you're going to feel it in your back too. Like it's really for your spine, your lower back. It's for your hamstrings too, but it's really for also your lower back and your spine as well. Just start very, very light, limited range of motion, then progress from there. All right. Really, really good questions. Really good questions. It's time, bitches.
That's deep.
Really good question. So follow up on that. All right, let's get into some balls deep content. Drop some dookie in the comments. No, it's definitely not a bad thing, Heather. It's definitely not a bad thing. A Jefferson curl, that's when you're rounding your back, you're stretching all the way down. You're going to feel it in your lower back. It's decompressing your spine. Also, I don't know if you're doing dead hangs, Heather, but make sure you do those dead hangs first. Really great to loosen up the shoulders. So it's definitely not a bad thing. I mean, you want to feel it. You're going to feel it in all these places, but as long as you're not getting pain. So start very, very lightweight, like maybe 5 pounds. If that, you can just start with even no weight, but start there and, build up from there. All right, let's get into some posts here. See, we got a couple. I don't want to do these posts today. I don't feel like reading. I just don't feel like reading. I don't want to read some of these stupid shit. Let's get into some videos. Let's just do videos today, shall we? Let's do it. Let's do it. Yeah, let's do the videos. We'll do one. Oh, why did I say Swole card? We're not giving away the Swole card right now. We're balls deep. All right, so we are going to do one post. We'll do one post, and then we'll do the video. So one post, just right here. This is from Reagan Chastain, and this is just like an appetizer. So we're going right into the main course, right? But we got to get an appetizer going here. So this is what somebody says. So somebody, I won't read your work because you put an asterisk in obesity. Yeah, somebody might say that. I mean, it's pretty stupid to put an asterisk over a word. You're afraid of what it says. It's a real word, and you are probably obese, so no wonder why it offends you. Me, I've heard Galileo's contemporaries refuse to look through his telescope. It's not that they disagreed based on evidence. They just found excuses not to question their beliefs. I think about that a lot. Listen, dum-dum, are you comparing putting an asterisk over the vowel, the E in obesity, to Galileo? Talk about having an inflated ego. You're comparing those two things. You're compared being afraid to a word. You're comparing being afraid of a fucking word to Galileo. Okay. Just keep that in mind as we continue. By the way, using the asterisk is about avoiding additional harm to those who've been hurt by a concept. Oh, people hurt their feelings from the woods? As well as delegitimizing a term made up to pathologize larger bodies and rooted in stigma and racism. All right, it's going off the rails really quick. Even if it weren't, I am not convinced that, quote, I don't like the way you write that word is a reasonable justification to refuse to engage with writing about oppression. Reagan, eat a fucking steak, go to the gym, go get fucked or something. Stop complaining. You're making no sense. It's really hard. You can't say stupider shit than this person. Reagan, you are not intelligent enough to use these words. I'm offended that you compared Galileo to your insane, racist, oppressive, I don't know, censorious bullshit. I'm offended. Galileo's turning over in his grave. He's like, don't include me in your fucking woke bullshit, you cunt. That was absolutely
what you just said
retarded, if you ask me.
Is one of the most insanely idiotic things I have ever heard. At no point in your rambling, incoherent response were you even close to anything that could be considered a rational thought.
Huge bitch.
Everyone in this room is now dumber for having listened to it. I award you no points, and may God have mercy on your soul.
Reagan, may God have mercy on your soul, because none of us will. All right, let's get some videos. We got a couple videos here. Oh, I'm sure they are gems. Fam, drop a number in the comments below. Number 1, number 2, or number 3. What do we got here?
I have nipples, Greg.
Let's
Could
see.
you milk me?
You mean the sun doesn't go around the earth? I thought the earth was the center of the universe. God damn it. Where's Copernicus when you need him? Copernicus. Let's see here. All right, we got some numbers popping up. Let's see. All right, because yeah, let's see. Let's do Heather crushing those Jefferson curls. Heather number 2. Heather number 2. Let's go.
I got hairy legs.
Indeed you do, Grandpa. Indeed you do. All right, number 2. This is called representation in media. And the first text I see on the screen is, the U.S. is fat phobic. My God.
The U.S. is fat phobic. In this video, we're going to focus on representation in the media. It's pretty rare to see a fat person in a movie or TV show at all.
I'm sorry, did you just say those words?
Representation in the media. It's pretty rare to see a fat person in a movie or TV show at all.
Can someone say hardcore false? Is it rare to see a fat person? What? What? This is like the 7th sense. I see fat people. Fat people are everywhere. I don't know. Have you looked at a magazine or the internet lately? There's just fucking fat people everywhere. It's body positivity everywhere. Yeah, there's fat people everywhere. So that's a big right there.
Rare to see a fat person in a movie or TV show at all. And when we do actually see them, their fatness is part of the plot, which is not okay.
Name me something. Name me a movie. Name me something where the fat person, where it's part of the plot. Okay, good.
The problem with this is that it's fat phobic. Loads and loads of people who are watching these movies and TV shows are fat themselves and want to see their body types represented in a way.
I don't think anyone feels that. If you're sitting around watching TV and watching this shit, that's probably why you're fucking fat. If you're watching TV or movies to the point where you're like, my body's not being represented. That's probably why you're fat. You should probably stop. You should probably turn it off and go outside and go for a walk or something like that. Yeah. Well, okay. Shallow Hal. Yeah. I mean, look, I'm not saying that it isn't part of the plot. It should be fine. Who cares if it's part of the plot? Like, it doesn't matter. There are fat people in movies. There are fat people everywhere. No one sits there and says, I wish my body was represented. Says no one ever. No one ever said that. You're just making shit up.
That makes them feel like they are normal, because they are.
They're abnormal. It's abnormal to be obese. It's common to be obese, but it's abnormal. You see the difference there? This is what happens. You need to have a functioning brain and use critical thinking. It's normal, but it's not, it's average. It's common, but it's not normal. I'm getting tongue-tied. It's not normal. You shouldn't be obese. There's no need for it. There's no reason to be. You have excess. Again, you're sucking down garbage chemicals all the time. You're staring at blue light all day. You're sitting there thumb fucking your phone and not providing anything of value to our society. You're stressed out. You're anxious all the time. Cortisol levels are through the roof. You're not getting enough sunlight. You're not eating like steak and lifting weights and actually taking care of your health. Don't pretend like you are, because you wouldn't be in this situation. You wouldn't be whining and bitching and moaning if you're actually taking care of your health. There's a difference. There are people that whine and bitch and moan about this shit, and there are people that get stuff done. Take your pick.
The average American woman wears a size 16-18, which is the first plus size. And in case you don't believe me, here's a few examples. Exhibit A. Her fatness is part of the plot. Her fatness is part of the plot.
Okay.
Here's a TV show. Her
Jesus
fatness
Christ.
is part of the plot. Follow for more anti-fat phobia.
Anti-fat phobia. My God. Tell us you don't have a job without telling me you don't have a job. Okay, let's do another one. Very nice. Well done. That's right, Gilbert Grape. Gilbert. Okay. All right, Cerny. Let's do number one. Cerny with number one. Keep crying, right? Keep crying.
We
Not you,
choose
Cerny.
truth over facts. I got hairy legs.
By the way, he's still got hairy legs, everyone. Nothing's changed. Man, an old man has hairy legs. Who would have thunk it? All right, doctors are wrong. Oh, my God. All right, so this is... Oh, my God, you fucking tool bag. All right, so I'm assuming this guy is gay because we don't get straight men that say this shit. So this is called Doctors Are Wrong. It's a dude here with like, I don't know what's going on with his forehead and his hair. He has a hoodie on that says trans kids are not a threat. Like, what does that even mean? What does that even mean? What the fuck does that mean? Trans kids are not a threat. Who thinks trans kids are a threat? I think the teachers are a threat. I think the indoctrinators are a threat. I think the psychologists. I think the... Oh, my God. Oh, God.
This is how I explain what being transgender means to kids.
I'm going to replay that again. Jesus Christ. You couldn't even take... It couldn't wait 5 seconds to say something stupid. 3 seconds. 3 seconds and you're already abusing children. 3 seconds. Can you not abuse children in the first 3 fucking seconds? Can you not groom kids in the first 3 seconds of the fucking video? Can you wait? Can you wait a couple seconds? Can you wait?
This is how I explain what being transgender means to kids.
There's no need for that. You shouldn't be anywhere near kids. What's going on with your hair, pal? Your hair is fucking transphobic or it's stupid phobic. It's trying to leave your goddamn brain. It's repelling your brain cells. Okay. God damn it. God, I hate stupidity. Let's do this. I got one for it.
Boys have a penis. Girls have vagina.
Yeah, like that's a rough open, don't you think?
This is how I explain what being transgender means to kids. When a baby is born, the doctor looks at the baby and says, "Oh, this is a little girl," or "Oh, this is a little boy." And sometimes the doctor gets that wrong.
Has never happened in history. The doctor has never gotten that wrong. I'll tell you why. You can see what the child is. If it has a vagina, it's a female. If it has a pee-pee, it's a male. So no doctor in history has ever gotten that incorrect. Not one. Not one. Not one doctor has ever gotten that incorrect. Sorry, bro Jackson. Sorry about that. Okay.
Oh, this is a little girl. Or, oh, this is a little boy. And sometimes the doctor gets that wrong.
Yeah. Wish your mom was pro-choice.
So when I was born, the doctor looked at me and said, this is a little girl. And so everybody thought that I was a little girl. But when I got older, I realized, wait, that's not actually who I am. And when I was able to tell people, I said, I'm not a little girl, I'm a little boy. And that just means that I am transgender. That who everybody said that I was isn't actually who I am. And I just had to explain that to people. And there's nothing wrong with being transgender.
What does that mean? There's nothing wrong. What does that mean? I really don't care what you do with your time. But one, should never ever talk to a child. That's fucking creepy. About this shit? No. So that should never happen. Your sweatshirt is very, very strange. Trans kids are not a threat. I don't know who that has ever said that. I don't know who has ever said that. It's like saying fat people are a threat. It's like, Papa Swole, you're going to have a fat person that gets mad at you. I'm like, okay, I'll walk away casually. Don't chase me. Oh, no. It's like, who are you talking to? Who are you talking? Trans kids are not a threat. This guy's using fucking TikTok instead of being on a therapist's couch. My God, mental disorders are real. But you can live your life however you want to. It's really when you push it onto other people, right? You force other people to have the same thoughts as you. Like you're forcing other people to agree with you. You're forcing other people's kids to listen to your insanity. Okay. Maybe. All right. Let's do one more. This one's called Tall and Fat. Oh my God. The United States? Part 1C. Is this like an amendment? It's like a bill. Part 1C. How does this have... Why isn't it... Why wouldn't it just be like Part 3? Part 1A, Part 1B, Part 1C. The video says Part 1C. Why? How come all of these posts, like on Twitter, it has like 9 parts? They just reply to themselves over and over again. Or they'll have like Part 1, Part 2, Part 3, Part 4. If you have to explain your point, if it takes that long to explain your point, you have no idea what you're talking about. Or you're trying to say so many big words in a row that you confuse the other person so that they can't respond properly because you're not coherent. Like you don't need that much space to explain some fundamentals. The U.S. hates fat people. This is called Tall and Fat. Last one.
The fat phobia was baked into the construction.
If you haven't seen that video, go watch it first.
No.
So the first point I want to make is that we should not have a need for extenders in the first place.
That's the fucking goddamn truth. That's the truth. If you haven't seen on Instagram, my purple-haired character, yeah, you shouldn't need seatbelt extenders. And sometimes those seatbelt extenders apparently aren't extended enough. I agree. We shouldn't have the need for seatbelt extenders. Although I don't think that's the direction you're taking this.
It should simply be long enough already.
That's what she said. Oh, yes. It should just be long enough already, but some seatbelts are longer than others, my dear.
There is no problem with the seatbelt being long enough in the first place to accommodate for larger bodies. Because the worst thing that's going to happen is a smaller person is going to have a little extra fabric hanging around. Not a problem.
Circumcise it.
Then for an airline to make the claim that just because someone needs an extension on their seatbelt, that they are no longer capable of helping in an emergency.
That makes sense. If you're morbidly obese, I would say you're probably not capable in an emergency. I mean, you'll float. But yeah, would you feel safer with someone who was able to fit into a seat or someone who can barely move? If you need a seatbelt extender, chances are you're not going to be able to move quickly or you're going to be an actual hazard in an emergency. That's just a fucking fact. You're barely going to be able to save yourself, let alone other people, or move quickly or get through the aisle to get to exit door to open it up because you can't fit through. Like, what the fuck are you talking about?
So wrong. You cannot make the assumption that just because someone is in a larger body that they are not strong and will not
Strength has nothing to do with it.
have a level head in the middle of an emergency.
It's about them not being able to move, like actually move, and probably be out of breath. And they're not in good shape. They're not going to have good cardiovascular capacity. Everyone thinks that. It's just common sense. It's exceptionally common sense. You just don't like the reality. You don't like the reality when it sits on your fucking face. You don't have to like it, sweetheart. You don't got to like it. It's okay. This is where we have to have this conversation. Like, you don't have to like things. That's the amazing thing about this world, is that it's irrelevant if your feelings are sensitive or affected. You don't have to like it. Doesn't make it untrue. I think everyone would feel better that someone can actually move and function. Okay.
That assumption is fat phobic. Follow me for more anti-fat phobia.
Jesus Christ. That assumption is fat phobic. It's not fat phobic. It's just logic and common sense, of which you're missing. My God, are you a vegan too? Your hair looks horrendous. And that's just, that's a fact too. Sorry about your feelings. It's okay. It's all right.
Matt Damon. Make me happy.
Yo, it's, and this is the thing. Like, you don't have to, it doesn't have to make you feel good, right? It doesn't have to make you feel good. Yo, we have it so easy in our lives. I'm not saying my life is brutal. I'm not working in a fucking coal mine. Okay. I work hard, but it's relative. Like, I'm not doing physical labor in a fucking coal mine. My life could be a hot fucking mess. I could be in the middle of the desert in fucking Africa with having no fucking water, and no electricity. We have it too easy. I mean, you have TikTok complaining online. Like, you have people that are just sitting there on their phones, on Twitter, on TikTok, on Instagram, just whining and bitching and moaning. Life is not easy. It's supposed to be fucking dire. No food. You have to go find it. No water. And well, water's everywhere. Yo, you go out in nature and find drinkable water. Do it. Do it. Go out in nature and find yourself some drinkable water. Let me know how that goes for you. Yeah. You see that stream over there? Oh, go have fun drinking that. You know how sick you're going to fucking get just drinking out of an average stream? All sorts of just like fecal matter and just bacteria. You can't, it's hard to find drinkable water. It is hard, drinkable water, food. Man, it's not easy. It's not easy. Predators, just exposure. When you're constantly at 73 degrees or 75 degrees, when you're constantly at look, we have it so easy. We have a name for it's called room temperature. It's called room temperature. Room temperature. Because we have a set temperature where all the rooms are at. So you have the same temperature in your house. You get in your car, same temperature. You get to a store, same temperature. You get to work, same temperature. You get home, same temperature. You're always your body's never stressed. Your body's never stressed. You're looking for problems. You're looking for problems that don't exist. You have so much just excess at your fingertips. You have no real challenge. You have no real stress. You don't have to worry that there's a lion outside. You don't have to worry that there's a fucking wild boar that's going to skewer you when you step out the front fucking door. You don't have a fucking mountain lion. Most people don't. Some people do. You don't have a mountain lion that's just going to fucking drag you off into the bushes just because you decide to go get your mail. We just do everything without the fear of imminent death because we're protected. We've created a society. We've been very successful with it. Very successful with it. Okay. But it's important to recognize that. That's what gratitude is all about. That's what perspective is all about. That's what education is all about. But when you're stupid and you're not getting educated, you're getting brainwashed in school and you're getting brainwashed in the media, being taught that everyone is evil and you're the virtuous one because you're a fucking pathetic victim loser. It's like, okay, change your hashtag and just complain, bitch and moan, cry. No one loves me. You're right. No one fucking loves you. You know why? Because you're annoying and you're an idiot and you just complain about stupid shit. That's why it's a vicious cycle. So then they complain more. It's awful. It's awful. And the media and social media and all these different platforms give attention to these fucking people. And guess what happens? They're going to keep on complaining. They keep on complaining. That's why when you have this woke bullshit with corporations and they give an inch, they keep on taking more, because if you give them attention, it's like a child. If they throw a tantrum and you feed into it, guess what they're going to do? They're going to throw another fucking tantrum. So ignore it. Tell them to fuck all the way off. You're not eating tonight. You'll eat tomorrow. Nah, guess what? Guess what? They're not going to do it anymore. They'll learn. Train them like a dog. All right? You give them attention. You give them attention, they're going to keep on doing the same things in order to get more attention. And maybe they weren't hugged enough as a child. It's all right. It's not your responsibility to fix it. So they're going to complain. They're going to change their hashtag. They're going to complain about whatever fucking thing possible in order to get people to like their post, to share their post, to give them a little bit of, give them a couple shares, a couple positive comments on their feed and shit like that. So just ignore it. Ignore it. Stop feeding into the bullshit. They're liars. They're grifters. And they just don't really have anything to contribute. They've been, they've been misled. They've been brainwashed. And it's all right. Natural selection will weed this shit out. Natural selection exists.
Crucifixion is good. Out of the door, line on the left, one cross each.
Twisted Yoga Girl. Did you see Tess Holliday's TikTok? Too fat to take her kids to school? No, I did not. Sounds horrible. Sounds realistic too. When you're too fat for a lot of things. You're too fat for a lot of things. Fam, we got a Swole card to give away. All right, Beaches, don't forget, we have our overtime segment. Last week's overtime segment is available now inside Swole TV. This Friday, we have another overtime segment. Join the fam today. SwoleNormusX.com. Get access to all the overtime segments. Not only that, we have this coming Sunday, we have our 6 years of Swole right here on the Mancast. We'll do it live. It's going to be fire. 6 years of Swole. And then 2 weeks, actually a week from this coming Sunday. So 14 days or 12 days away, we have episode 22 Hundo. We have our P3S3 Papa Swolio's signature series dropping. And of course, on Monday, May 30th, we have our Balls Deep for Summer release party. Major releases, so be there or be a jabroni. Don't miss out on that. And yesterday's accountability meeting is also available inside Swole TV. If you missed it yesterday, it was fucking fire. So thank you everyone that was there live, and check out those brand new releases. Now, fam, let's drop that in the Telegram chat, by the way. Drop that Tess Holiday TikTok. We'll maybe feature it tomorrow. All right, let's get into this Tainty Magooch. Fam, are you ready? Falcon, let's go. I know. Let's do it. Who's a Tainty Magooch? Someone here. Who's got to slough off those Tainty Magoochai? Tainty Magai? Magachai? Magoochai. Tainty Magooch. Tainty Magooch. Tainty Magooch. Tainty Magooch. Oh, we got one. Brandy. Congratulations. Congratulations. Fantastic. Brandy with the Swole card. Brandy. Don't be a beesh, don't be a boosh, Brandy. You don't want to end up like Tainty Magooch, do you now? So everyone say congratulations, Brandy. Send us an email to support@swolenormus.com. Swole card 20 Schwam 88 in the subject. Your mailing address in the body of the email, and we'll send you this Tainty Magooch card. Oh, it's so tainty. It's so Magoochie. It's so juicy. It's so juicy. Brandy to the main stage. All right, fam, let us nut this beach, and we'll take some soundboard requests. Let's fucking go. Congratulations, Brandy. Brandy. It's fantastic.
This house is a fucking prison!
Congratulations.
Bullshit! The galaxy of this sucks camel dicks!
Oh, thank you, Andres. From Buenos Aires. Fantastic.
I'm funny how? I mean funny like I'm a clown, I amuse you?
Loud noises!
And by the way, I sit on the stand and it get hot. I got hairy legs that turn blonde in the sun. And the kids used to come up and reach in the pool and rub my leg down. So it was straight, and then watch the hair come back up again.
That's a huge bitch. Oh, yeah, it is. We just did hairy legs. Are they still hairy?
Boys have a penis, girls have vagina.
As you can see, my nipples have been removed from my body. Where they are, I don't know.
Fucking people.
I better use my strong.
and my existence, while grotesque and incomprehensible to you, saves lives.
I got hairy legs.
You switch the samples.
The attacks on me, quite frankly, are attacks on science.
You switch the samples.
We choose truth over facts.
Oh, we gotta get that one in more.
Emotional damage.
Check the wind.
Hadouken! Hadouken! Hadouken!
Boom shakalaka! Chicks will dig you, or dudes, or whatever gender thing you're into.
What the hell kind of country is this where I can only hate a man if he's white?
You can only hate a man if he's white nowadays. God. Where's the fun in that? Boring. It's so much fun to hate.
Matt Damon. Don't forget to watch Where the Sun Don't Shine.
Your father was a woman.
60% of the time, it works every time.
That doesn't make sense.
First, take a big step back and literally rock your own face.
Oh, that was nice. Oh,
I give it
that burned.
A 10! A 10! A fucking 10!
No hands. If you're just listening, it's a fucking masterpiece. Oh my God. Michelangelo of that knowledge cock. That's right. The pietà of the knowledge cock is fantastic. Fam, thank you so much for being here. We'll see you tomorrow for 2189. Oh my God, another mancast. We are just getting closer and closer to episode 22 hundo. SwoleNormanSex.com. Check all the links down below for the live stream links. If you're just listening, make sure you leave us a review, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, anywhere you bang your ear holes with the knowledge cock. And of course, SwoleNormanSex.com. Join the fam today because we have a huge month, major releases. And of course, we drop new stuff every single week, but get access to all those private live streams. And you don't want to miss out on all this content. This week's overtime is going to be fucking off the charts. So very excited to have you with us. If you're ready for us, we're ready for you. Join today. And SwoleFam, we'll see you over there in the Telegram chat and tomorrow for 2189. Peace, McGee's, deuce, Magoose, your boy Papa Swolio. Oh.
Crazy flow, need a straight jacket. Cash flow, I'm a bank addict. 6 subs, had the bass smacking. 808s, had the place clapping. 3 girls is enough for me, so I pull out like the stock crashing, like an IPO trying to purchase me. This a private sector, so you can't have it. Faking all that boom bapping. Who you think you is, boy? 90s want they sound back, so I give rap all these fake rappers as I take matters in my own hands. I don't need rapping, I don't need Zans. I don't need help, I'm a grown man. Now they king left and they so mad, it's like
Then yeah, I found that young king with my crown at 10 racks in the fanny pack, couple hundred in the Louis bag.
That's a bag that you made. That's a bag that you made. That's a bag that you laid. What kind of game is you playing? We go hard in the paint, yeah. What the fuck is you saying? I only go where they pay. What kind of game is you playing? Yeah, whoa, my shit is relevant. On topic, my melanin is popping. I'm taking skeletons on closets and making new deposits. I'm in my element.